Well, Matt, did you get your handle on AI.com? Did you?
My handle?
Did you secure your name on AI.com? I mean, you got to get it.
I did not. No, I did not.
No. Okay. So
No.
you didn't.
Was there a window I missed? Did I need to do that?
It was a Super Bowl ad. So over the weekend, there was the Super Bowl, kind of a big deal if you're out in the Pacific Northwest here, because
or anywhere.
Yeah, but also for us, because Seahawks, they're like the closest team that we have. So we're like, oh, but you just have to root for them, right? But the ads for the Super Bowl, right? Everybody who's not interested in the game or following the teams super closely. Also, the game was kind of boring, so the ads were the highlight, I guess. But the amount of AI ads that ran during the Super Bowl was insane. There was a point where I was like, I've counted 10 so far. I've watched 10 Super Bowl ads for different AI platforms, being like, use our AI, use this AI, check out this thing that you've known about forever, but now it has AI integrated to it. And it was crazy. It felt kind of like we're heading towards some weird dystopia, because usually the ads are like, buy this cool car, or like, they did have the Coke and Budweiser stuff going on, and the usual stuff, but it was dominated by AI tech. And it was just like,
was there a vodka commercial that had AI and it was absolutely horrendous?
There was a couple of commercials that I was like, is this whole thing AI slop? Like, did they make this commercial with AI? I don't know. I didn't look it up, but you're just watching it going like, there's just something off about this.
There was a commercial I saw people talking about where it was like these two robots, a man and a woman, dancing, and like had like he like got vodka or something out of his chest, and I was like, it looks horrendous. Like, it was like, who did this?
Yeah,
like
that commercial.
Who did this?
It's either that thing where AI is mimicking generic crap so well that generic crap now looks like AI, right? And you're like, I don't know what it is. Is it AI or just general commercial slop? Because there's plenty of commercial slop out there,
It looked rough, to say the least.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, when was the last time you saw a car commercial that you were like, whoa, look at that car commercial?
Look at that car.
They're all the same thing, right? You could probably tell AI to make you a car commercial and it would look just like every other car commercial out there.
Probably. Except for maybe the car wouldn't look exactly like the car that you're trying to advertise, because it's just going to kind of guess. Like, that sort of looks like our vehicle. Sure.
Yeah. It did make me think that we're like just in this crazy AI bubble, because half of the stuff were things that I'm like, I don't think people are using these platforms, or like, they're just all vying for that space. They're all like, we're all competing. So what
was this AI domain thing?
I don't know. That's the thing. It was just like, get your name at AI.com. Hurry up and get it before you're out of time. And it was like, I don't even know what it. I had so little interest in it that I did not punch in the URL on my phone or something.
It's like buying virtual reality real estate and space, like in VR. It's like, no. I'm not gonna do that.
Get your metaverse handle, bro, before somebody else takes it.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, so I wrote down the commercials that ran that were AI related. We had a Wix Harmony commercial that was like, you can make websites with AI now. There was OpenAI that was like, do all your STEM learning stuff with our software. There was Claude AI that was like, our AI is not super, I don't know. They're like trying to say that their AI was more human or something. I'm not really sure.
Oh, it's more ethical. Ooh,
something. Okay. Oakley and Meta were like, get our glasses so you can be like, hey, Meta, record everything I'm doing all the time and post it on Facebook.
24/7.
There was a Microsoft 365 thing that I don't know. They were like saying it can predict the future or something. There was a Google Gemini ad. I don't even remember what they were talking about. There was Mr. Beast was promoting Slack AI, which is kind of weird. I wonder if Mr. Beast even used Slack. He could. He has a pretty big production studio. Maybe they use Slack, but yeah, it was sort of weird. Then there's AI.com, which I didn't look up because I just don't care what it is. It's just another AI thing.
So all in all, a lot.
I'm not done, Matt. I'm not done. Okay, let me get to the weird ones. I'll get to the weird ones.
was gonna say we can keep listing these if you want, but
it's insane considering that it like dominated the majority of the commercials for the Super Bowl. Because normally those commercials are for like the biggest brand products, period, right? And this time it was like just AI. So Ring, the doorbell, had one.
What do they need AI for?
Yeah, this is a fun one. So they now have their like neighborhood group system. And the AI can now do like image recognition. So you could be like, they advertised it as like, oh, if your dog escapes and you're like, where is it? You can type into the neighborhood thing and be like, where's, Rover or whatever. Here's a picture of my dog. Find my dog. And they'll be like, oh, it was down by Bill and Susan's house, 3 hours ago or something. And it'll show you the images of it. And it was like, okay, this could get out of hand real fast.
Could, yeah.
I mean, just think about like global image recognition for like everybody in every neighborhood. People would be like, why is Matimio taking a walk at like 2 a.m.? Like who's who's that hot chick that Matt's getting into the car with outside his house?
Oh, baby.
The potential for spying on people just seems insane. But like the commercial's like, isn't that cool? You can find your dog. And you're like, okay, you haven't thought about the crazy dystopian downsides of this. So that was an interesting one. There was a commercial by GenSpark AI that was like, hey, check this out. You can just have it automate your work and then take the day off. And so it was like people like filling out a spreadsheet and they're like, GenSpark, fill out my spreadsheet for me. And then it just did all the work for them. And then like, cool, I can take the day off, which was comical because you're like, that person has just been fired essentially. They just worked themselves out of a job with AI.
Yeah.
So that one was insane.
They can take a day off, and then another day off, and then another because they're unemployed.
Take a week off. Take the month off. Why don't you just take the rest of the year off?
Why even go in for work?
Yeah. In fact, you know what? Why don't you take it off? But it will be a no pay vacation for eternity. So that one was insane. You're like, okay, it's so weird to market it to people. You're like, they were marketing it to executives, I think, that were like, oh, you can fire your whole dev team. Like, go for it. And then there was one that wasn't exactly AI, but I thought this commercial was like, it started off in a way where I thought they were going to end with like, and now the revolution begins, like fight for your freedom or something. It started off with like showing that rich people live longer than poor people because they can afford like all the really high-end healthcare and stuff. But it was shot in this like really like dystopian style of like just showing wealth and gluttony and all this stuff and like and rich people getting everything they want. And then the ad was for like hims and hers where they're like, look, now poor people can get good like vitamins too.
Great. And perfect.
You can live longer.
To advertise it.
It was so weird and dystopian. Yeah. Anyway, the Super Bowl was interesting, but not because the game was interesting.
Isn't him and hers just like a supplement company?
I think so. They were basically saying like rich people can get like custom made vitamin packages,
of course,
and that like
it's the vitamins that rich people are consuming that is definitely the reason why they're living longer, not the fact that they have no stress in their life and can do whatever they want. That gives them the freedom to be able to take care of themselves.
And
or it's
great
the vitamins.
Preventative healthcare too, right? Where they're like, why don't you come in and get a screening for everything because you have healthcare and you can afford that. No. It was just a wild, weird dystopian Super Bowl commercial fest of like me going like, is this commercial made with AI? And then the other side of it was we're just promoting AI in every which way soever. And then also going, the disparity between wealth and classes in this country is really out of hand. If you want to live longer, use this
Buy our product.
And then we had a nice...
Buy our product now.
We had a nice, boring, uneventful football game to tie it all together. I look at football now. I think I look at sports through the lens of game design now. And well, because I mean, essentially they are games, right? We have video games mimicking the sports, right?
Yeah.
So, but my issue with like football is there's just too many rules in the game that allow them to just slow it down to a crawl. So the last 10 minutes of a game take like 30 minutes because they're like timeout,
timeouts and stuff.
Timeout, penalty, timeout, 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 commercial break, timeout, timeout. And you're just like, this is like a poorly designed game. Every single one of them slows to a crawl at the end. And then especially with the NFL, if a team is winning by a lot of points where like the other team can only catch up if they get like 2 touchdowns and like a field goal or something, and there's 5 minutes to go and you're like, that's never going to happen. Then the other team just ends up running out the clock with all these boring plays, right?
Yeah, it's this big snooze fest, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just this big delay fest for like 5-6 minutes or something or of game time, of actual time. It's like 15 minutes or something. And you're just sitting there like, is this really the best system they could design? Like just this big delay
because you want to allow for timeouts, right? Like you want to allow for that thing.
Yeah. But anyway, I just look at football now for this like game lens where I'm like, this game could be designed way better. Like it could be much better than this. Why are we sitting through this? Like,
you should fix it. I believe in you.
I'm going to fix football, Matt. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're gonna get some
very angry comments like, what do you mean you can fix football? It's perfect.
No. I mean, that's the thing. If you watch people talk about these sports, they're just like, oh, these rules, this year suck or whatever. Like that's how it goes every time because they always change the rules. And they're trying to fix stuff and inevitably, create some problems, fix some problems. I don't know. It's interesting. I sort of get why a lot of sports are losing popularity traction, to a degree, but
okay. Well, I actually thought they were growing because of one reason.
Oh, what's that reason?
Gambling.
Oh, gambling. Yeah. Oh, right. Betting on sports. I know it's like, I feel like fantasy football or things like that have also like engaged people in the sport way more than they would be otherwise, right? Because they're like, my team's going to do well and I got my fantasy football league. And if I win, I get $1,000 or whatever. Yeah. Are you, well, I know you do a lot of gambling promotion, Matt. So which is your,
no, you can accuse me of some things. That's one thing you don't know.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay. But, is there a specific thing you're going to reference there or just like DraftKings type?
Nope.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's become so much more prevalent.
Yeah, sure.
It's just insane now.
It's weird how much just in the zeitgeist you hear people talking about the odds, where they're like, oh, it's 6-1 or whatever. So, and that's just like the talk, before like an event starts. And it's sort of it's just the commonly accepted way to talk about the odds of a sporting event is like what the gambling, what you can win if you bet on this team, right? Versus that team. Like 6-1, like, okay, so I'll make 6 times as much if this team wins, but nobody thinks they're going to win. Yeah, it's an unfortunate combination. I don't know. Watching sports for that reason versus just enjoying.
Just to enjoy it. Yeah.
I still watch racing for the joy of it, Matt. And so there's going to be
a ton of people out there watching and enjoying sports for the sake of sports. That's what the Olympics is about.
Yeah. Actually, there was a Super Bowl commercial for Cadillac.
Oh, baby.
Joining F1. They're sponsoring a team. And it was kind of cool. Yeah. So there's going to be 22 cars on the field this year.
There's going to be a Cadillac car now?
Yeah. It's just going to be a big old honking Cadillac, the classic.
Nice. Just it's not going to be very fast, but, at least compared to the others.
Yeah. He's going to be comfy in that Cadillac, though, arm out the window.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm excited about that. There's been some interesting things going on in the world of gaming lately.
There has.
I think, I know I see the game that you wrote up on the podcast list there that is definitely the most in the Battlefield wheelhouse, which people are starting to talk about is Wardogs. Have you played it, Matt?
No, have you?
No, but some people have played it. So I
have not had a chance to play it, but I watched a couple videos about it, and it looks really exciting. It genuinely looks like it could be a fun mix of Arma and Battlefield, trying to find a nice happy medium where they're not going too hardcore, but also at the same time slowing things down. So it's not just a more aggressive, just in your face chaos. And yeah, I think the game genuinely looks like it could be a really good time. I do have some concerns.
Sure.
And
concerns for a Battlefield clone? No.
Yeah.
Or Arma clone, whatever you want to call it.
So for those of you that are not aware, the game is basically, as I said, a mix of Arma and Battlefield, where it's going to be on a larger map. But the twist on it, is it's going to be 3 teams. So it's not just a 1v1. There's going to be there's an extra team in there. So I'm guessing 30. It's going to be 33 players, I think, for each side, for about 100 total on the map. And you're vying for a objective that kind of slowly moves around the map, or maybe it can just be in different places around the map at certain points. But you are going to be building bases like you would in Arma. So it's kind of got that slower. You got to reinforce different parts of the map with actual reinforcements. Matches will be lasting much longer. They said, I think a quick round can be about 45 minutes, but most of them will take maybe 2 hours or more because it's, a slower paced experience. But then on top of that, it's a money economy where everything you do, getting kills, reinforcing, what have you, anything that supports playing the objective gets you money, which can then be spent on getting better gear, vehicles, what have you, to help win the war front.
That side of it is far more based in the Arma realm than Battlefield, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Now that's where I think things get a lot more interesting, because then you can have there's not a class system, but you can effectively make classes. So if you buy the defibs, like there are defibs, so you can literally just go shock someone. That's why it's more like Battlefield, right? So it's not like this really long, extensive process. They have the ability to like pull people and like drag them out of harm's way, so they've got a lot of like modern features. But getting back to the classes, I'm getting distracted here. So you can come in as like a medic, but you're not actually a class medic where you like selected a loadout that gave you all those things. You had to select it individually. You could be someone who brings a defib and maybe like an RPG, but if you bring too much, your character's going to be heavy and slow, and there's going to be drawbacks to that. So you kind of have to like pick and choose what kind of role you're going to be bringing, and that all comes down to the money economy. It also means if you die, you lose your stuff. So there's a little bit of a risk reward. So if you come in completely juiced and you're reckless and you just charge in and you die, you could be not only losing all of that, but giving it to the enemy that they can then pick up and use for themselves. So
that's also a great way to balance weapons, because then you don't need to say every gun is equal. You're like, no, that gun's better. It also costs twice as much. So pick and choose, man. Like get your crummy semi-auto that's super cheap, or get your super accurate full auto. It's going to cost you 2 or 3 times as much. Right. I love it. I love that because it replicates reality a little bit better, and it gives you more freedom to balance guns, right? You're not having to make everything equal at the end of the day. So that's really fun. I like those ideas. It's Unreal Engine 5, I believe. And the devs said that up until Arc Raiders launched, they basically were going to be the most well-optimized UE5 game around. So
that's good, because that was one of my next concerns is 100 players, Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine doesn't really have a great track record right now.
UE5.
Yeah. Unreal Engine 5, sorry. And on top of that, there's destruction. They've got 100 players and a large
vehicles.
map.
Vehicles also.
And vehicles. Yeah. So,
and the vehicles look legit too. It wasn't just like fly your little helicopter around this tiny map. It was like, no. Right. Get your helicopter and fly for a long, like the maps are big in this.
Right.
So it looked like real sim stuff. It looked cool.
It's ambitious, and I like ambition. I like that they're trying a lot, especially with like destruction. We've never seen destruction, I think, on this scale for like, because I don't think Arma or anything like that, like Squad, doesn't have destruction at all. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's actually no, I take it back. There is a little bit of destruction in Arma, but it's more of like the building sort of just like rumbles and collapses to the ground, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
This looked more Battlefield-esque destruction, if that makes any sense. So you're putting a lot of things together, and how is it going to play? Does it feel good with 100 players? Is it laggy? What's the pacing like? We'll have to wait and see. Those are the things we're really going to have to iron out. And I wish them luck because the game looks really cool. It looks genuinely like a good time. That slower paced gameplay could be a little bit of a turnoff for some, but if they nail it and it's reasonably action packed, because I don't want it to be a snooze fest where you're just like, all right, I died. Now I gotta go run for 20 minutes to get to anything, right? Like if they can nail that pacing, but
yeah. That squad, right, is like, when squad is popping off, you're like, dang, this is cool. I feel like I'm in a real battle right now. And then at other times you're like, so just build this fence over here for like the next 10 minutes. And they're like, build the fence. If you could do that, that'd be great. And you're like, cool. And then it just gets boring. So there's a big balance there, and I understand that a lot of people like those games because the slow moments make the intense moments more rewarding. But when not done well, you can have rounds that you're like, I saw like 3 guys over the last 40 minutes of gameplay. Like that was boring. And so that part of it sucks. I really like what they said, because they kind of talked about going for the Arma sim side of things, but while making it accessible like a Battlefield game and keeping the gunplay accessible and all that stuff. So I don't think the game's going to have like a billion types of stances, that some of those games have, where they're like, would you like to adjust your stance so you can see through the slots in the fence? It's like, no, design the world so I can shoot over a ledge. And then when I crouch, I will always be at the right height for the standard ledge height. Like, don't make me sim my crouch levels, it's too much, right? I don't know why that one always gets me, but I'm just like, oh God, I don't want this in a game. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on the performance side, because one, they've already said that their game runs really well. They said it's up there as one of the best optimized games. 2, UE5 is not a bad engine. It's just been getting a lot of bad rap, and there's been a lot of dev teams that have rushed their products out using untested technology that was like in beta stages and didn't ask themselves the question of like, do we need nanite and lumen
this right now?
Yeah. And it was probably just some executive head being like, oh, look how good UE5 looks. Turn on all the features. And they're like, that's really expensive, right? And when Epic marketed those features, they were kind of marketing them to the film industry just as much as the game industry. And it's not like super well optimized for games. So UE Unreal Engine is just now starting to optimize its high-end features, like where they showed off The Witcher 4 looking great with nanite and stuff. But it's like, that was like nanite after like 4 engine versions of upgrades and improvements. Like all the games that came out in like UE 5.2, they were just like, half of those systems were barely functional in alpha stages. And so I'll give them a little bit more credit. Like the engine has matured enough. They're probably being smart about it and not using features that are unnecessary. Like I doubt they would be. It didn't look like they're using lumen, and that would be very silly of them to be using something with such a high performance overhead when frankly you can get by without it and it still looks just as good as any other game.
Well, if the game looks and plays the way that it did in their videos, I think the game will be great. But it's also, a promotional piece, and they are going to do everything they can to make it look good during the promotional piece. Yep. So fingers crossed.
I like the idea of the game. I like everything about the idea of the game, and it seems like they're really focusing too on smaller, like limited numbers of game modes, right? They're not like, here, play a billion different game modes. That's one of the things that I like about Arma Reforger.
I feel like that's a little bit of a knock at Battlefield, sir.
Of course. But, or a plug for Arma Reforger, where they really focus on like, here's the main game. They have a couple more now, but like when it first came out, it was really like everybody's just playing the primary game mode with some cool mods around it. But otherwise, that one game mode was like kind of holding the whole thing together, and it was good, and it's like, cool. Yeah. Focus on that one really good game mode. I love that idea. And like a moving objective, cool. The gameplay doesn't get stale. You're not fighting over a point for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. Like, move it around. I'm down. Also, if the the vehicle controls are good and you can like become an elite pilot or something, like that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I look
sure.
forward to like, I don't know, just getting the joystick out and doing some helicopter piloting and stuff and getting on the comms and stuff.
They said they consulted helicopter pilots to make it as realistic as possible, but with also making it user friendly. So good luck finding that balance, but I believe in you.
You can do it. But it requires a lot of trial and error and testing.
Yep.
You can make more realistic physics and then say, okay, but let's not give them 1,000 tools for leveling and adjusting the chopper. Let's just have it automatically do that instead of adjusting your trim mid-flight. You know, nobody wants to do that in an accessible game.
Some people do.
Some people do want to do that. It's the people who like to be the air traffic controllers in those flight sim games where their job is to just like direct air traffic.
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
Hey, do what you want to do, right? That's cool.
Dude, I mean, there's a whole segment of gaming that I'm like so out of touch with. You know, it's like when you see that like Farm Simulator is like one of the biggest games out there and you're like, what?
Yep.
What? It's just people driving tractors around and stuff. And it's like 100,000 concurrent
there's something
players.
About it.
Yeah. And you're like, what is
Farming
happening?
Simulator 25 has a peak 24 hours of 40,000.
Right?
Yeah.
That just makes you go like, I don't understand.
Games are popular.
I mean, yeah, I don't understand. I could see the appeal, but I didn't know on that scale, right? I thought that would be a niche game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You know what would be funny is those big combines that people drive now, they're like fully automated. I know some guys that do that for work. And they're like, yeah, it's super boring. Like I usually just watch stuff. Like I'll watch Netflix or whatever while I'm...
Yeah, but make sure you're there so that if anything goes wrong, you're ready to go.
Yeah, if the little warning sign turns on, you deal with it or whatever, right? But other than that, they're just sitting there and I'm like, it'd be really funny if they were playing Tractor Simulator while driving the combine, right? Like that would be some...
Well, got to get it somehow. It kind of drives itself now, so you just got to do what you got to do.
Like, God, these realistic farming equipment is so boring now because it's all automated. I like the old school stuff where I actually had to drive it. I don't know. I just thought about that. I thought that would be funny.
Did you, speaking of Battlefield style games, did you check out the Delta Force update at all, or did you hear about it at all?
Yeah. Working on a video for that right now, actually.
What'd you think?
So
yeah, that's kind of my feeling too.
I wish I could say nicer things about it. I'm also like, that's one game that perplexes me too, because the player count is still really,
I think it's really popular in Asian communities and like, Eastern communities.
It has to be because some of the matchmaking times and stuff felt way too long.
Really bad. Yeah. And then like the servers don't fill up like at all. And you're like, what's going on with this?
Yeah. So it's like, it's got to be huge in the Asian markets, and just everybody in the Western markets was like, well, I'll just play Battlefield or one of the other shooters that I like, and not that. It's wild to me, again, how different the markets can be like that, but it's clearly doing well in some markets. So the update for it, why it's notable, is because there was a new map with a big Levolution style event of a giant skyscraper coming down, crashing and stuff. Very much Siege of Shanghai, Battlefield 4.
It looks cool. Like visually, it's a cool event. Like they did a good job with that. And the destruction, for the most part, is somewhat comparable. Like you can shoot RPGs and get rubble kills. I didn't accidentally, but I shot an RPG at a wall, and it all came down, and I got 3 kills. I was like, oh, I'm back in...
Oh, that's cool.
I'm back in Battlefield 3 days, where I was just shooting, on Grand Bazaar and stuff like that, and rubble killing people. It's not that easy, because that was a little bit ridiculous back in the day. But you can take out a bunch of walls here and there. It was kind of cool. But it also did feel a little surface level, where I don't think anyone was really actually actively taking advantage of that destruction, even on the new map, which I think was more of the focus of that map.
Yeah. I can't shake that it still feels like, even though this map is clearly taking after BF4 to an extent with the whole Levolution ideas, it still feels like the game is trying to copy 2042. at its
Oh,
core.
it's 100% a 2042 game. It is.
And,
it is still wild to me that they copied that game.
And so every time I get into it, I'm like, right, that was the battlefield that they cloned.
Yeah.
Why did they clone that battlefield? Especially when their single player is like, here's Black Hawk Down. And you're like, cool, that's an interesting era of warfare. That'd be cool if their whole multiplayer was like that. Nope. 2042 weird hero class stuff and smoke darts and whatever,
Yeah.
So I played it. It's a free game at the end of the day, but it can't compare to even BF6, which we're always complaining about, so.
I agree.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're doing all that, but I think it seems like they're continuing to support the game because it must be successful enough in the Asian markets to keep building out content for it. So I guess at this point, I'm more just curious what the game's going to be like in 2 years or something. Like
back when it was just 2042 and we didn't have Battlefield 6, I felt like Delta Force was fine. It was comparable. Like I still think it's comparable. I think it's an okay game.
Mm-hmm.
But now that Battlefield 6 is out, I'm like, I don't want to go back to the 2042 style of characters, and just the gameplay loop just feels different. It just doesn't hit the same now that I've got the taste of Battlefield 6, even though Battlefield 6 has its issues.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer it.
BF6 feels much better at creating the sense that you are a soldier in a conflict. And these games are like, you are a soldier in a fake futuristic conflict and everything about it is super fake. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. And that's what it feels like. So yeah, it's hard to go back to it having played BF6 and not just 2042, but Delta Force, which kind of is, in my opinion, it's a lesser 2042. Like if you compare it to where 2042 left off, 2042 was just a better game in so many regards.
Okay.
And Delta Force is like, we're going to copy you and kind of do less.
Their extraction mode seems pretty popular though. That's something Battlefield definitely failed with what was that even? Hazard Zone.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
I've never seen a game so obviously dead on arrival as Hazard Zone. Like I think I was playing it for all of 5 to 10 minutes before I was like, there's no way this is going to succeed. Like whatever early access we got to.
I think their big push was that they wanted, I think they wanted the whole game to be Hazard Zone. I think they genuinely wanted 2042 to be a Hazard Zone experience. And then they pivoted and shifted to actually having to make a real Battlefield experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It is one of those weird things where I keep thinking like, how do they get so far with these projects? And nobody's like, hey, you guys know this is terrible.
This isn't working, right?
Yeah.
You guys know this isn't actually working.
You know this is going to fail. And then all of a sudden they're like, what do you guys think of our project? And everybody's like, this is a disaster, guys. Like, how did you make it years into this with nobody telling you? Anyway, speaking of things that could be dead on arrival, I see marathon hype kind of picking up a little bit. Like,
oh yeah, no, I think as I've said, I think that Arc Raiders may actually benefit Marathon because people got a taste of an extraction shooter. Bungie, for all their problems, they do make, good shooters. The gunplay feels really solid, and Marathon, while it's got a kind of an odd aesthetic and it might turn people off from it here, it's still a big game. It still could be massive.
You know what excites me the most about it, and it's where Arc Raiders is arguably the weakest, is the character progression. So like, not character, but your skill progression, I guess would be a better way to phrase that. Where you have all these factions you can align with, they'll give you different perks and skills, and you can progress their faction trees and unlock new abilities. And I think you might be able to mix and match some of that to a degree. I'm not entirely sure, but it just seems way deeper where you have so much more character crafting options available to you. Where Arc Raiders, as we've talked about several times before, has got one skill tree, and by the end of it, well, it's got 3 skill trees, but by the end of it, everybody's the exact same combination of those 3 things. Right. There's no interesting plays where you're on that at all. And so that part of Marathon gets me really excited where I'm like, oh, okay, like I could see one season being I'm the Healy character and I heal people. And so I'm really set up for working together in groups and stuff. Or the other season, I'm the stealthy guy who can go cloak and sneak up and shoot you in the back or whatever. Like, that looks cool. That seems like a really fun way to kind of mix it up in between seasons where you're like trying different play styles.
Especially if they can have a better gameplay loop. Because as much as I love Arc Raiders, its end game is really just play the game, which is fine, but there's not a lot of like bigger goals beyond. Once you really get the first couple hours of a season, and by couple hours, I mean it can be tens of hours. Once you kind of get your base, the game pretty much plays the same all the way throughout the rest of the season. There's not that much big of a variance. You do get a couple of like cool legendary weapons here and there to maybe fight like the Queen, but for the most part, you're going to be using the Stitcher, you're going to be using the Venator, and that's all fine. But it doesn't really morph and change much. So I'll be interested to see how Marathon approaches their end game and really just their overall gameplay loop, and if they can expand upon it. Now, I said that this Arc Raiders may be a boon to Marathon, but it could also be its detriment, because if they come in and the game just isn't hitting, people are gonna be like, well, I have Arc Raiders, so like, cool, thanks, but I'm out because I've got a better game.
And that's like the AAA pitfall, is they copy a formula so closely that when you can relate it directly to another game out there and you go, well, the game that's already out is better, then there's zero reason to play your game, right? So it does seem like Marathon is trying to differentiate itself a decent amount. Hopefully that's enough.
Looks much more PvP focused. That's the vibe I'm getting. It looks like they're really trying to hammer home that this is going to be more of a PvP game with PvE, but you're going to be fighting other players a lot.
Yeah. And again, that's one of my main, I don't know if I'd call it a gripe, but things that I kind of wish could be a little bit different about Arc Raiders, where they're really leaning into PvE first, PvP second mentality with the game. And players are rewarded heavily for being friendly and really heavily, like to the point where if I wanted to get all of my stash and progress stuff done, PvE only would be the route, right? You would go so much slower if you engaged in any sort of fun PvP content, but you would get the fun, right? But that's what I don't like, is the trade-off, right? Like, fun. Why does fun and progression have to be at opposite sides of why do they have to be a fork in the road?
I hear what you're saying.
Where it seems like Marathon is trying to not make that a fork and saying, no, the objective, some of the factions are like, their assignments are like kill other players,
right?
And that's how you upgrade them. And you're like, cool. Like, finally, the game that has a progression tree that's the literal objective is to go out and kill other people and ruin their day and whatever. Like, if you're that kind of player, then you can go with that faction and you will be rewarded for it. So I really like that they have that. So I hope it is a nice way to spice up that environment, because clearly extraction games and these games that have a little bit more persistence behind them, where you're building your characters out and stuff, they seem kind of like the future, and they're focused more on gameplay than just spamming you with endless content around mediocre gameplay. And I'm in favor for that. I think that's the future of game dev in general. That's it. I didn't read an article, but I saw a headline on that was like, it was something like, "Are content games sort of doomed?" Where they were talking about games where they have a formula down, and then the dev strategy is to just load it with content. And we saw that for like 5 to 10 years, where usually with Ubisoft titles, Assassin's Creed style games or Far Cry style games or whatever, where they're like, we've got the formula. It's kind of a fun formula, but you've played it a lot before. You're probably kind of bored with it. But now it's got 10x the content. And you're like, oh, okay, do I want that? And this article was kind of about like how like gameplay is coming back in as the focus now, where they're like, hey, what if we excited
not just
you?
Purely content. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. What if
quality
we led
over
with
quantity?
Not even quality, but I would say led with like the gameplay being the main drive, right? The fun factor, the gameplay loop being a huge focus. And then they're like, oh, okay, if that's good, We'll give you more content.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotcha. Well, for Marathon, I mean, I'm sure Bungie is hoping that this is the next big thing because Destiny is not looking good. Have you seen the player numbers on that?
I have not. How's it doing?
It's down to 11,000 concurrent players right now for Destiny 2.
On Steam?
On Steam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've got a pretty big console player base, and the game's been out for a while. When was the last time their DLC came out?
So just to give you an example, June 2024, 2024, so, about a year and a half ago, they were at now this was at the beginning of a DLC, but they were at 123,000 concurrent players.
Okay.
And then they were holding, so they were always held around like 60,000, 40,000. They've never gotten ever this low, ever.
But they've been kind of content droughting the game, right?
So they had their big finale, right, for Destiny. The big conclusion, the epic conclusion for The Witness, and it was good. I thought it was solid. But I think a lot of other people are like, okay, I'm out. And they just never came back because they're like, I'm good. You guys concluded, and I got my fun over the decades. Thank you so much, or decade. And, but yeah, so I'm sure Sony and Bungie are like, okay, people are clearly not vibing with this as much as they used to.
Yeah.
And it could be because of what you just said. There's just not enough content, and the content there isn't good enough. But yeah, I'm sure that they are putting a lot of emphasis on Marathon to do well.
I remember Dado Does Destiny making a video about the way that they handled that kind of conclusion. Because I guess he knew that they were still working on more stuff for Destiny 2. And he was like, why are you guys doing it? Like, you guys are sending the wrong message. You need to tell people that there's more stuff. Because, I mean, he did only Destiny content, right?
Dado Does Destiny.
Yeah.
Do you know what he's doing now?
No, I haven't seen.
Dado Does Deadlock. He's got another channel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He sees the tides shifting, and he's making
for sure.
Deadlock content. And he's making great. I love his Deadlock content. He's doing a really good job so far.
He's a great content creator and a very good gamer. And I just remember the days when I was like always going to him for like whatever the new thing in Destiny was, and I needed to know about it. Like, he had it right there. So, I'm glad he was able to pivot, but yeah, that's a sign is like, if your top content creator for your game is like, all right, guys, like, one, I'm going to call you on how you're screwing up these big announcements, and two, bye-bye, because it's not sustainable anymore.
Right.
It does seem like they dropped the ball though. It seems like Destiny could have been a franchise that had a lot more life to it. Like, especially Destiny 2, right? If they had really just stuck with it and kept building on it. But
well, I mean, that's what they've been trying to do. Personally, and this is maybe I think somewhat controversial. I think after the big Witness event, they should have been like, okay, that's it for Destiny 2. We'll keep supporting it, but like cut off. And now we're working on Destiny 3. And they should have been working on that in the back end for a while so that you wouldn't have to wait, 6 years or whatever for Destiny 3 to come out. And then Destiny 3 comes out, and it could be a hard reset. It could be a soft reset. It could, but something so that people can come in and be like, okay, new story, new characters, new everything, new systems. And I don't have the baggage of an entire decade to catch up on of nonsense, right? I can just come in and experience a new story in the Destiny universe. The reason why I say that could be a little controversial is I know that there are lots that are like, no, I want all of that content I had before. I want all the guns I've accumulated forever. And I get that, but like, you do this for every game you play, and not every game needs to like move over from one over to the other.
Yeah. Basically Bungie has to decide what they want to do, which is, are you making a forever game or are you making sequels?
Right.
And then stick with it, and they
because you have Warframe that's been around for even longer, and it's still in beta apparently, and it's still trucking along, doing quite well. And they're a forever game, right? There's not going to be a Warframe 2 to my understanding. So,
speaking of sequels that kind of screwed up the whole party for everyone, you see that Overwatch is having a bit of a comeback right now.
Yeah, what a dumb, god damn it! I mean, I respect it. right? Like, but oh my God, to be like, hey, so everyone, we're going to move to a free to play system and we're going to be Overwatch 2, 5v5 this time around with nothing else. We were going to have PvE, but that fell through. So the big thing for why we made it Overwatch 2 is gone. And
also,
we
you
screwed
kind of
up.
have to switch over. Like, it wasn't even a...
Yeah, no, there is no
Yeah.
Overwatch. There was no Overwatch 1 you could go back and play. Like, you had to
That
play
was
Overwatch 2.
insane. That
Yeah.
should go down as one of the most dumb blunders in like game dev history, of just like, hey, you know what you shouldn't do is just turn off your massively successful game.
Well, you could argue that Overwatch 1 it was just Overwatch, and it was just like, it's a live service game, right? So it was just, they decided that their live service was going to change directions. If I play Rainbow Six Siege, I can't go back and play Rainbow Six Siege year 1. Like, I can't do that anymore, right?
Yeah.
And it's a very, very different game. So I kind of get what they were going with, but at the same time, going free to play, they were going to, big PvE focus. None of like the big promises came to fruition. And they, over the last couple of years, apparently have like buckled down and improved and everything. And so, like, I'm excited for the Overwatch 1 relaunch. I don't even know what to call it.
It's just, they just literally are dropping the 2 and adding more content. And
well, I mean, the reason why I call it a relaunch is like, they're releasing 5 heroes all at once, and then over a year they're going to be adding 5 more. So like, they're clearly making a big push to fight for their players and like bring people back. And like, I personally think that's a great idea, because I think a lot of these live service games, Battlefield is going to be fit into this category, is they just trickle their content, and trickling content's not going to bring people back. It might bring some people back, but it's not going to bring a big rush and be like, holy crap, you're right, this game is actually sick. I forgot about how much I love this game.
Yeah.
A big update will do that. And I think that's probably why they're pushing so hard.
Yeah. It's good because, I mean, honestly, Overwatch really is and was a fantastic game. You know, like, it took the world by storm when it first came out. It kind of reinvented this sort of hero shooter genre. At the time, the only thing that was close to it was
spawned, I think, all the hero shooter clones that everyone complains about nowadays.
Yeah, we're all annoyed. And I mean, now they've got like, Deadlock, which people are loving as, being a major competitor, which is kind of funny if you think about it, because it's sort of the same formula of what happened with League of Legends and Dota, right? Where like these Blizzard spawned games to a degree. I know Dota wasn't made specifically by Blizzard, but it was made as a Warcraft 3 mod or whatever, and then kind of evolved around that. But then like somehow Valve gets it.
Yeah.
And like,
that is pretty funny.
Kind of a similar narrative here. I know they're different games, but like the similarities are really strong between the games. And then Valve is
I wouldn't say Overwatch and Deadlock are that similar. Once you really get into it, they are.
But if Overwatch never came out, do you think you'd be playing Deadlock right now?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Hard to say if they would have come up with all these zany heroes that fight in totally unique ways if Overwatch hadn't done it.
Hard to say. It's not that Overwatch made hero shooters. It's been in the past, but
sure.
I hear what you're saying. Because Valve, Team Fortress 2, like literally.
That's fair.
The ones that literally like paved the road for hero shooters.
Yeah. Team Fortress 2 was a mod, I believe, for Half-Life, and then Valve bought it, I want to say, or brought the team on board.
That I couldn't say.
Well, I know it was a mod initially, so somehow they acquired. I just don't know how they acquired Team Fortress eventually. But I remember playing that original mod, dating myself here, but it was cool. It had all the the goofy Half-Life weapons in it, with like the missiles with the trails. They would leave these trails, kind of like a sniper shot trail, but it would be like a missile trail. Those were the good old days, man. Those were fun turrets. Those twin minigun turrets. Playing on the old curved CRTs, baby.
Oh, baby. Now you're dating yourself.
Yeah. It's funny, like now, because there is like an actual science behind why the CRT looks different than an LCD. The literal technology and how the image is displayed. So people get weird about bringing old school games back on LCDs because they don't look the same that they did back in the day, because
they literally don't.
Yeah, the pixel art that we see and appreciate online now is very different from what it looked like on a CRT, and it kind of, because of the way it blended together on a CRT, it had a very different visual look to it. And now there's these cool things that are super niche because, of course, they're for nerds who care about this stuff. And there's like only a handful of them. So it costs like $1,000 if you want to buy like a good one of these. But it's like an image adapter that'll give you the perfect CRT filter on an old school, on like a retro gaming emulator or whatever. So you run it through this piece of hardware onto like your TV or something, and it'll make it look like an old school CRT. And I'm like, that's cool.
You definitely have to be a pretty big nerd for that. Yeah.
Huge nerd, right? Yeah. They use it on like those old school like arcade machines and stuff where they're like, well, we can't buy CRTs because people aren't making them anymore. So going to get an LCD with this cool image adapter to make it look old school. I'm like, whoa.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah. Somebody showed one to me once, and I didn't even know it existed. I was like, you paid how much for this? My God. Like, you got to get the pure experience, man.
Did you play Cairn?
I did, and I made a video about it, and I called it Cairn in the video.
Yeah, you kept calling it Cairn. I was like, what is this Cairn he's talking about?
I don't know why.
There's an I in there, young man.
What's so weird about it is I heard it pronounced Cairn a billion times, and then I was like, hey, I played this new game. It's called Cairn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Sometimes I just do things, and I'm like,
it's all right. Did you beat it?
No, not yet, but I really like it. It's cool.
Yeah. It's good, right? It kind of grabs you, and it's tense, and I loved it. Did I tell you I beat it last time around? I can't tell if I remember I told you I beat it.
I don't know if you had beat it last time. I don't think you did. No.
Yeah. Well, I beat it now.
So what happens at the end?
She turns into a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, sick. Aliens are at the top. I knew it. It's First Contact.
Yep.
It'd be fun if they just did some
be pretty wild
story where you're like, this isn't a climbing game. This is a game about an intergalactic conflict, and you are the hero. What?
I really want a game to do something like that where it starts off, and some have done that. Some have, where the beginning of the game is very different and then towards the end, right? Like it's like a completely different game. Like you climb a mountain and then all of a sudden it turns into like a completely different, experience. It'd be cool, but also hard to sell.
Yeah. It's I really like it. It's just one of those games where I guess a different game, I forgot the name of it, kind of did a similar climbing mechanic first, but it just wasn't as deep or evolved, and I forget the name of it, but people were commenting on my video like, hey, like check out this game
like
because it's
or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the name of the game. So I don't want to misspeak and say that Cairn invented this cool new climbing technique, because I didn't play Jusant, but I want to check it out and sort of see where it probably drew some of its inspiration from.
From what I heard Cairn really just kind of elevated it and made it more realistic than that game did.
Yeah.
But that game apparently was very good too.
Yeah. And sometimes that's what it takes, right? Is like an indie game tries something, and because it's indie, they were only able to get so far with the concept, right? Because they're like, well, our budget was like $500,000. So like,
right.
We had a good idea, but we only could make 5 levels for it. And that was it. So people really liked it, but then that was that. And then you get a studio with bigger budget and they go, cool, let's run with this idea and just expand on it like in a bigger way. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, that's the general relationship of indie versus AAA as well. But it's funny that it's like, it's, small indie versus medium indie now. You're like, small indie did a cool little thing, and medium indie was like, let's make this much better or bigger, I should say. It's cool. I think it's one of those magical things that happens in indie dev where you're just like, I never thought about a game like this before, but I love the mechanics, and it doesn't need like the story and the little hidden things, the frog you can lick and all that stuff, it's like these are fun. Did you lick the frog, Matt?
I like the frog, yeah.
You licked okay, good. But like those little things are fun icing on the cake and the cherry on top or whatever, but the climbing mechanics themselves are such a great gameplay mechanic and loop that you're just like, yeah, the rest of it is just there to remind you that you're playing a game and give you a few goals and fun objectives and progress the narrative. But like, honestly, I just see a cliff face and I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this,
Let's climb it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exceptional. And I know you said that the story kind of is a side piece, and it is, but by the end, it sneaks up on you. You're like, oh, I didn't know I was this emotionally invested with this character. Cool.
That's what I've been hearing. People are like, wait till the end. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I will wait till the end. I see you. Helldivers 2 got an update. I missed that one.
Yeah, they added a tank, and it is pretty cool. You have a driver and a gunner. You can also have your 2 other squad mates, so 4 people total can be inside of it, where they just kind of sit on the top and shoot at stuff and you just kind of can move around the map and just destroy everything you come across. The tank is a tank. It can take some hits, not too many, but it like you can drive around for a while in that sucker.
What happens when you fight really other tanks in the tank?
You'll probably take a hit and you'll be fine. Bunch of hits. But you will absolutely just dominate anything in front of you, because it takes 2 people really to make it useful. And so I think they wanted to make sure that you felt powerful in it, because you're effectively taking away one person's ability to shoot at stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it has a like I don't know, like kind of a machine gun and a main rocket, main cannon. The machine gun has so much ammo you could literally probably just hold down the button for the entire time and never run. It's like literally like a ton of rounds.
Why even give it ammo at that point?
Yeah, it's literally like I only played one night. I plan on playing again in the coming days. But yeah, I never came into a situation where we ran out of the main machine gun ammo. But yeah, really, really cool. They added, the most exciting thing is, I don't know if it's in there yet. That might be coming tomorrow, or it may be in there right now, but they're adding in new enemies. There's 3 new enemies. There's the, what are they called? Cyborgs. So like half man, half machine kind of a thing. And they've added in like a bigger enemy as well to fight. You're going to be on Cyberstan, which is the home world of the bots, it's a great automatons.
Name for a planet.
Yep.
Cyberstan.
Yeah. And they've got like their whole story, kind of weaving in the story of what's going on, where they've stolen like our technology. And of course they're all communists, and you're there to spread democracy it's Helldivers. It's cheesy. It's amazing. The game's doing incredibly well. It's got like 100,000 concurrent players right now. It's like, dude, this game came out when? And it still has 100,000. Yeah. So they're absolutely killing it. And it's just more content for a fantastic game.
That's great, man. It's so cool to see like Helldivers and Arc Raiders. I lumped together because they sort of started as like Helldivers wasn't a Nothingburg studio. Like they had a big game with their original one, but like they came out and became
big,
a successful game, I should say.
It was successful. Yeah. I don't know how big it was.
Right. But they had enough to build Helldivers. I think dev time for Helldivers 2 was like 7 years or something.
It was a long time.
So I mean, they had enough budget from Sony to really work on Helldivers 2 for quite a while. Yeah. But not only did that game just like explode massively when it first came out, but it's maintaining its success and its player base. And a lot of my gamer friends are like, oh, I just can't stop playing Helldivers right now. I've just been playing Helldivers all day or whatever. And I'm just like,
it's a fun game just to chill out and shoot and stuff, where it's not ultra competitive and you don't have to worry about, being the sweatiest dude in Call of Duty or whatever. You can just shoot at bugs and just have a good time.
I can't help but feel that that is also some of the appeal to Arc, right? Because of their focus on
Yeah.
PvE, right? Where they're like, no, we're not going to promote this super sweaty PvP gameplay. We're going to let you do it, but we're also going to mostly reward you for chilling out. And I think people are jiving with that a lot too. I know I do too. Like sometimes where I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to go in for a mission and not fight people. And sometimes it's just fun to run around and explore and dodge the arc or whatever. Yeah, it's cool. But I think what I was trying to get to is like the power dynamic or the popularity dynamic of these games has really shifted massively towards AA. These medium-sized studios where everybody's talking about these medium-sized studio games that have become AAA-sized in terms of their popularity. And then the big AAA titles people aren't talking about as much. Or
they're still selling well. Like Battlefield 6 was apparently the biggest selling game of last year. But
but that player base has dropped off. Where
it's dropped off a lot,
Arc and Helldivers are now more popular than it. So it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to see that sort of that massive shift.
I feel like the AAA industry just in general needs to reassess because they keep going bigger, but they just kind of lose what makes their games kind of fun in a lot of ways. It's like, I don't need to have a open world game that is 5,000, miles long. I want something more focused. I want something that does what it does really well in the actual core gameplay, Luke, what you said. Maybe that's why these AA games have been so successful is the core gameplay loop is just so fun and satisfying.
Yeah.
And that's really what the focus is about.
Yeah. I think AAA doesn't know how to do that, or whoever's at the top is not like, because they're just looking at these projects from like heavily the business side, and games are an art form, right?
What's the safe bet?
Yeah. And I think games are, at least a lot of games are like an art form, right? It's like it's hard to put a money value behind or a time value behind developing a loop that is actually fun, right? What does fun look like on a spreadsheet? Like it's really hard for these big studios to account for like developing a really fun mechanic or gameplay loop or something that hasn't been done before. Because it's just an unknown. It's a big question mark, and they can't put that question mark on in a budgeting thing or a timeline thing easily, But if you say how much money and how much time does it take to deliver 6 more levels? Okay, well, we can account for that. We can get you a pretty good estimate on that. And that's, I think the problem is that they just keep going towards that because that's what they're used to, and it kind of sucks the magic and the risk out of it, and they need to do a little bit more risk, But it's interesting. There was another. I like this idea, but I saw another. I think it was on Reddit. People talking about were the PC elitists right in that.
The PC elitists right? Okay, I want to hear this one.
In that it seems like everything is sort of heading towards PC ultimately being the platform that survives the gaming wars or whatever. And is the thing in the end of the day that provides the most value to gamers and ends up being the most popular, most adaptable platform for everybody gaming anywhere. And it was interesting where like one, they just listed off all the benefits of it, but it kind of comes back to a lot of the Steam machine stuff and everything going this way, where if Linux takes off and all these little mobile handheld gaming devices are ultimately just PCs at the end of the day, running Steam or whatever, the value there is just so insane.
And true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny they say that now because with RAM prices and the parts like PC parts exploding,
But that translates to consoles as well.
It's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
But PC is more popular than it's ever been. It's been rising year after year. I remember the days when like it felt like PC players were just kind of second fiddle, and they were just sort of like it's like, yeah, we'll support you, I guess, like Call of Duty genuinely when for years felt like they did not care about the PC platform
Battlefield had a whole game that never, a couple of games that never came to PC. They had a version of Battlefield 2 that was console exclusive, and it had all these different features on it as well.
I remember being so disappointed because I was like, I loved Battlefield 2 when I was growing up. I was like, oh, sick, a new Battlefield game's coming out. And then they were like, it's console exclusive. I'm like, what do you mean it's console exclusive?
There was a whole era, like a good 5 to 10 year period of people not deving for PC titles not doing as well. Battlefield 2142 was notoriously one of the least successful Battlefield games. And it was a PC game right around the time where consoles were just dominating, and that was probably a big part of the reason why it did so poorly. And I remember being salty as a PC gamer back in the day, because when you are a PC gamer and you see the value of the platform and all that stuff, and you're like, why the heck aren't more people using this? Well, it's because consoles were just having their heyday, you know, couch co-op and all that stuff was huge.
Right.
And like and Halo was massive, and all these other things were like big at the time, and consoles were just sort of dominating with all these fun exclusive titles, and PC was like, we've got MMOs and stuff, and that just wasn't enough, you know?
I think the rise of indie games, and as you said, AAA games have also probably helped out significantly, because you can't really have that on console as easily. Like indie games have made their way into the console market more, but like, I can't not tell you how many times I've heard like, hey, is this game on console? It's like, unfortunately, no. Like it's a PC exclusive game, and there's tons of them, right? Like, you're really missing out if you're only just a console exclusive. So I think that's also played a big role. Consoles are still
that way, which is interesting. So like, if you're going to develop for a console, getting a playable demo to test on like an Xbox or a PlayStation or whatever is like way more hoops to jump through than deving.
Way more hoops.
Yeah, than deving on Steam. And like, first of all games are built on PCs, right? Nobody's building a game on an Xbox. It's all being done on a PC. So it's always going to work initially on the PC in the first place anyway, for testing it there. But then, getting onto PlayStation
apparently,
or Xbox,
unless you're Grand Theft Auto, god damn it.
What do you mean?
It's not coming to PC at release. It's going to be a console exclusive for who knows how long, because they like their double dip. I'm still salty about that. If you can't tell.
What is the money that they're getting paid for console exclusive?
I'm sure it's going to be it's a lot.
So it is interesting, but I remember. Do you remember? You know that game Fez? I was talking about this with my
Fez,
my tech lead.
Like that side scroller.
Yeah, you remember that one?
I do. Yeah,
it's a little side scroller puzzle world exploration game. It was like massively well reviewed for its time, and I think it was like when the Steam Deck first came out, it was like one of the games that they were giving away for free with it or something.
Yeah. Okay.
But there was a point at which the dev made it for like consoles and PC. And he was able to launch a bunch of fix-it stuff for the PC version, but there were some bugs on console. And at one point he was like, I literally don't have the money right now to submit a review, a patch update for console. It's $10,000 to submit this, and I just don't have that money. So I'm really sorry, but until the game sells more or is more financially stable, I'm not going to be able to patch the console version. And you're like, Steam makes it super easy.
It's a pretty big wall to have to overcome if you're an indie game.
Yeah, it's surprising to me still that there are these kinds of walls to like get into, where you have to like apply, fill out all these forms, do all this stuff, and then maybe you'll get access to dev kit type stuff to start deving on their console. And you're like, I'm trying to provide value to your platform, and you're making it hard. Like, why?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you see the trash that they actually launch on their platforms, right? That King Kong game that they dropped on PlayStation or something. You're like,
wait, I forgot about that one. That's good. Yeah.
You're like, wait, that one made the cut? Like, you guys reviewed that and we're like, all right, looks good. Get it out the door, sell it to our customers. And you're like, if you're going to have an exclusive moderated game shop, then make it moderate it, you know?
Yeah.
Don't let people publish trash on it. which that game definitely was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Didn't it? It was your game of the year. I know.
Yeah.
You were the only one who thought so, but you know what? Everybody's
Haven't
got their
played
thing.
it, unfortunately. Should have, but I didn't touch it.
It would have been a good That's who played it. Streamers.
That probably would be a good stream game. Yeah. You're right.
Streamers get away with that stuff because they're like, I'm going to play the worst game ever made. And yeah, you pay $10, buy a terrible game. It becomes
content. Yeah.
And you make some money. And other people are like, yeah, I'm not going to spend $10 and play this terrible game. But then again, it's like titles like Only Up. Remember when that came out? And like,
of course,
every streamer was playing it.
Oh yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah, and then everybody else wanted to get it and sort of torture themselves, essentially.
Yep.
Did you enjoy that game, or was it just generally torture?
It's okay. Yeah, it was all right.
Because I mean, it was really just jank, like for the most part.
It was just a bunch of assets.
Yeah.
Flung into an area where you just jump from asset to asset. Yeah.
Now that I know more about game dev, like I could probably do that with one other dev in like I don't know, a couple of months or something.
That's literally probably what they did too.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. I think about that game too that I think a lot of people still don't realize that the unrecord is not the same as body cam.
Correct. Two different games. Well, Unrecord just announced that they now have the funding to actually develop the game. I was like, wait, you weren't even really developing the game this entire time? So that like they're like now that I know that they haven't really been fully developed, I'm like, okay, I don't really blame the the body cam guys for swooping on in, like
for sure,
and taking some of that thunder a bit.
I don't even understand how that didn't get moving faster, right?
Right.
You publish that online. You publish Unrecord online. You're like, check out this cool concept. That's not even a project we've started. We've just kind of been screwing around. And then you're like, okay, I assume this was to get funding so that you could then...
Or something
so that you could secure your game idea and then build it, right? And then they're like not, or they're going super slow, or they barely have anything on it. So the body cam guy swooped in and just did it right away. But I think body cam's still getting updates for it. I think they're still working on the game.
Yeah, they are.
Just funny. It's such a weird thing.
I'm seeing one trailer that was 2 years ago. So it's been 2 years at least.
Hopefully they're making progress on it. I am actually excited to play that game because it's got a level of polish that body cam doesn't have. Body cam's just sort of a janky game.
It's very janky.
Well, literally within a day of the Unrecord trailer coming out, people were posting videos online showing how to replicate that effect in UE5. Right. And they're just like, just get these FPS plugins and then throw this modifier on and boom, you've got a body cam game.
And that's what they did.
And they probably just watched those videos and made a game really quickly that was basically TDM the game. It was just a generic TDM game, but with a body cam perspective. And everybody thought it was Unrecord. They made a crap load of money.
Yeah, so the reveal apparently was April 2023.
For Unrecord?
Almost 3 years ago. Yeah. And they only just announced December of 2025 that they are now funded. So
that's weird. That's really weird. I mean, unless they were working on some other project and just didn't have the bandwidth. But at that point, you're like, if your social media example blows up like that, you get on that right away. You've got a winner. Like, make the game, guys.
Yeah. So a little surprising. I wish them luck. Apparently they have 1.2 million wish lists. So that was January of 2024.
Oh so my God.
Dude, I have no idea.
How could you not get funding? Like, I mean, people get funding with like 10K wish lists, They're like, hey, people are interested in this project or whatever.
Right.
Like, you got 1.2 million wish lists. Like, yeah.
As you said, they could have been working on other things. Maybe it wasn't their priority. Who knows?
Yeah.
Life is difficult.
Yeah. I hear that Claire Obscure
Expedition 33.
33. Too long of a name. They need to change that.
Just called Expedition 33.
Yeah.
It's clear. And it's not that long. It's Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
It's a pretty long name, but
okay. Yeah.
Anyway, it's being a lot of people in the industry are studying the studio's kind of makeup and process of development because they did that project for pretty low budget, I think.
Yeah, very low budget.
Yeah. And so they're sort of looking at that and being like, okay, we need to stop wasting money on all this stuff that we don't need to spend money on. So I'd be curious to see if bigger studios can adopt what the indie studios are doing. Probably are, considering all the articles about studios laying off half their dev teams. Riot cut half of their dev team for 2XKO, which is their fighting game, I believe.
Jesus, really? That game literally just came out.
Yeah. So basically the story was like the popularity of it was below what they thought. So they're not canceling the game. They're just reducing the dev team to, I guess, match the popularity of the game. Which obviously sucks because that means less content in whatever is coming out for the game.
Right. I didn't know it was doing that badly.
Yeah, I think they fired 80 people. So if their dev team was 160, then that'd be
that's a lot. That's a lot.
That is a lot of people for a dev team. I mean, that's not a small dev team by any stretch.
That's the entire High Guard team.
Poor guys, man. We'll see what happens to that studio also. Just as much as indie can do amazing things when they don't have the restrictions, that doesn't guarantee that they're going to do amazing things every time.
Yep.
Or big hits, I should say. You ever go back and watch movies that I see, that's the thing is like, as an adult, I rarely go back and watch a movie that I've seen before. As a kid, teenager, young adult, I'd have my favorites. Go back, watch my Star Wars, watch my Shaun of the Dead, watch whatever movies that I was like, this is the greatest movie ever made. I've got to watch it 10 times, There's not a lot of movies that I do that as an adult, but one that I wanted to go back to the other day because I'd only seen it once, but I remember just thoroughly enjoying it. It's called The Nice Guys. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's I
was going to say it's not that long ago, but it was 2016, so it's been 10 years. God damn it.
Been 10 years since it came out. It's Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, two powerhouses, but it's a detective noir dark comedy.
It's goofy.
It's very goofy. Like Ryan Gosling is the funny one, and then Russell Crowe plays the straight man, kind of to play off of him. And it is so funny, man. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and it's a good movie on top of that, where like it's a real detective noir of like, girl shows up dead at the start of the movie, and everybody's connected and somehow involved, and it keeps leading you left and right and who's actually in charge, and by the time you figure it out, it's crazy and there's big action sequences and stuff.
I love the elevator scene.
Oh my god,
where they take the elevator up.
The lines in it are so good, and the running joke of the whole film is that Ryan Gosling's a private eye, but he is quite literally so incompetent and so bad at his job, and just the things that he happens to get right. He's still a good guy, kind of, at the end of the day, but like...
Or you could say he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy who takes old ladies' money to find like their dead husbands or something. There's like a scene in the beginning of the movie where he's like, a woman's writing him a check. She's like, I haven't seen my Irv or whatever. And he's like, what day? When did he go missing? She's like, on the day of the funeral. And he like looks up to the like mantle, and you see like an urn with ashes in it, and it says Irv on it. And he's like, all right. And he just like takes her check.
Takes her money.
Yeah. And you're just like, oh my God, So he's kind of a piece of crap, but a very likable piece of crap. There's such a funny line in that movie though, where there's this woman has a gun pointed at both him and Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe says to her, where he's like, have you killed anyone before? Kind of like sussing her out, like, is this chick for real? She's like, yeah, 3 people back in Detroit or whatever. And he's like, okay, all right, like, fair enough. and then like Ryan Gosling's character, he's got a crush on her, and he's had a crush on her this whole time. And even though she's like shown her true colors of being an evil person and working for the bad guys, he's like, come on, you're not. He's like, you're not a killer. Put down the gun. And Russell Crowe's like, she just said she killed 3 people. And he's like, yeah, but deep down, I mean, and you're just like, deep down, she's a murderer, dude. It's just so funny. He can't let go of the idea that she's that bad. She's this person that he's like put up on a pedestal. And he's like, no, I've got a crush on her. So she can't be a killer. It's like, she just admitted to killing 3 people, dude. This is not like a spur of the moment. Yeah. Such a good movie. I recommend it to anyone. It's like up there on my, I mean, as an older person going back to watch a film, you got to figure
as an older man,
as a refined gentleman. There's not many movies that bring me back for a second viewing, especially ones that aren't like crazy, Avatar level productions,
Yeah.
Which this isn't. It's just a detective noir buddy cop style comedy. This one is so good. Like, I think everybody just has to watch it. It's that good of a movie. It also had Margaret Qualley in it, who's she's kind of blown up because of all the weird movies she does.
She's good.
Yeah. But I forgot that she was in it, because I guess she wasn't a big name when this movie came out. Now she's kind of a bigger name, but she was good in it. She's funny.
Cool.
Yeah. How about you, watching or reading anything?
Playing a lot of Satisfactory and Deadlock. That's basically
man.
my downtime. Love me, my factory is so good now. Oh. I'm getting almost to tier 9. It's been hundreds of hours, but I'm almost there, baby.
Oh my God. It's I love just like watching video. This is my relationship to games like Satisfactory or like any other long building progression game, that has like fun narratives or something, is I'll just like put on a YouTube video while I'm working on something of somebody else playing the game and be like, man, that looks fun. I'm not going to play it.
I'm not going to play it though.
I'm not going to play it because I don't have 1,000 hours to just obsessively dedicate to it, which is, I've always been an addictive gamer, but in the sense where I burn out. So instead of being that guy who's like, I guess I just play video games 8 hours a day, every day for years and years and years, I'll be like, I'm going to play this game 12 hours a day for like a couple of weeks and just absolutely burn out, and then by the end of it be like, okay, I'm going to take a break, and that's good, I guess, for me, because it means I'm not like hopelessly addicted to games. But that's what happens to me when I find a game that I really love. I just burn through it and can't stop. So
I feel that.
Yeah, so I know myself well enough to know if I got Satisfactory, I'd have to make it to the end. I'd do it, and I would do it in some stupid amount of time that is unhealthy and unsustainable, and
that's not a game
else.
You can really rush to the end. Like you're like, oh, I've got everything set up, and then the game's like, oh, so great. Now go do it again, but for something else slightly different, and then you got to bring that product over to the. Oh, and then you got to bring that product, and then you got to bring that. Dude, it's so sprawling and large, it's nuts, but it's great.
Are they planning to like, I mean, I know that they've been updating it and working on it for a long time. Have they released any roadmaps or like what they've got planned for it?
They might. I think they're like, this is the game. I could be wrong. I don't know if they have anything. I'm hoping that they're working on something else. I'm hoping that they're working on
Satisfactory 2 or something.
Or something. And even if it's not even a Satisfactory 2, but just They did such a great job with that game. I want to give them the creative freedom to do whatever they want.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there's when a studio does so well with a game like that, it's nice when they have the budget and creative freedom to like do whatever they want. And you're like, cool.
I can only imagine how much money they made from it.
Yep. Well, it's like Hello Games, right? Like they did so well with No Man's Sky, financially speaking. At this, and that they're now just making whatever they want. And their next game, you're like, cool. This game looks like it's going to be a banger. You know, like a giant open world simulated planet with built Minecraft style buildings. It looks like, and adventures and weird rabbit kingdoms and whatever. Like you're like, cool. I'm down for this. Like it looks like you guys are gonna just absolutely cook with this new concept.
Yep.
One, I hope anyway. Maybe it's absolutely
fingers
boring.
Crossed, because it could ultimately not.
It could be another. My biggest fear is that it's just another No Man's Sky with the really long resource progression crap that I don't like about it. Like I like the concepts of No Man's Sky, but it's ultimately just held back by this resource progression game that I find really boring. So maybe if this is a fantasy game where the objective is to go out and explore versus go out and just mine crap loads of stuff.
Well, you don't want to mine the same thing for thousands of hours?
Yeah, not really.
I don't know, man. I was enjoying chopping down trees in New World, so.
It's true. I mean, I can't argue with Minecraft, but Minecraft next to No Man's Sky, like there's just something about Minecraft where the game isn't saying like, hey, you got to go collect 10 obsidian ore or whatever and do the thing. And then you completed the mission and now you have XP and whatever. Where No Man's Sky is more of that, where it's a little bit more linear at the start, I guess, where it's like, get this to get that, to get this, to get that, to get this.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
It opens up at some.
It definitely opens
point.
up.
But yeah, I guess Minecraft is fun. I like Minecraft because it's just sort of like, it's not telling you what to do.
Just go and do whatever you want. Yeah,
do whatever you want. And if you want to build a cool thing, then go get the things that you need to build it. But you don't have to build that thing. Build whatever you want.
Yeah.
I
gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. One thing I did want to talk about is because it's coming out in less than a month, I think. And I know I've mentioned it once already, but I've read up a bit more on it and watched more videos and stuff on it. But is Crimson Desert, man. It's starting to look spicy, Matt.
It looks spicy, but at the same time, like, how big is this game? Like,
it could be that thing.
What is it?
It could be that thing of, here's a crap load of content and the gameplay loop sucks, right? It could absolutely be that.
Because they showed off the one character. I was like, oh, he's the main character. And they're like, oh, there's also 3 other playable characters. I'm like, what do you mean there's 3 playable characters?
Yeah.
All with unique move sets and like, I was like, okay, cool.
They're
that's
doing
dope, but
so much with it.
Yeah, a lot.
Apparently you're going to be able to build like village, like towns or stuff. I don't know. They're showing the enemies and there's like mechas. There's like steampunk style mechas
like flying,
in the game.
There's like flying mechs.
You can ride dragons apparently, or you're going to be able to. I don't know. And the world is
definitely in.
The world is massive. It looks incredible. Like the graphics are really good. The combat looks fairly interesting, if I'm being honest. Where like it's got melee, you got magic. It's not all wooden. You're kind of like comboing moves and stuff. And I don't know what to think of it other than it's like, this game just looks too good to be true almost, where you're like, it's just huge. They're promising everything in a fantasy format and you can just go out there and do it. The only thing I'm worried about is that it's going to suffer from that. Hey, we gave you a ton of content. We figured out our content pipeline really well. And so here's a crap load of content, but the gameplay loop sucks or whatever, right? The typical mega game trope or flaw. It's an Assassin's Creed game that's like infinitely huge, but you're like, okay, well, but there's nothing
new. It doesn't evolve.
Yeah, it doesn't evolve over the course of the many, many hours that you need to beat it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I got my eyes on it though, because the visuals are so stinking impressive. Like you're just looking at it and you're like, there's not a lot of games that do open worlds of that scale with the visual quality on that level. You know, like there's a lot of big open world games, but Usually the visual
It is
quality
gorgeous.
drops down when they do that. And you're like, no, this
We
game
got
looks
some. We
great.
got some examples. The Horizon games are gorgeous, and
Yeah. Oh, how excited are you for your new
oh, I
Horizon game,
forgot. Yeah,
Matt?
we could have mentioned that. Yeah, they completely changed the aesthetic, and they're like, it's cartoony now. I'm like,
I don't
okay.
get that. They just Fortnite-ified the game, and you're like, wait, you
Yeah.
developed an incredibly unique visual aesthetic for your first games, and now you're like, what if we didn't do that? What are you talking about, you idiots?
Yeah. So the thing is that they have a mobile version that looks more like the original aesthetic, and I'm like, why did you do that? Like for
That's
the mobile
reverse.
game.
That's reverse
Exactly.
thinking.
That's like if I showed you both gameplays, you'd be like, which one's PC and which one's mobile? You'd probably pick the one that was more realistic graphics. You know, the more authentic graphics from the original games would be the PC. Nope, that's the mobile game.
Yeah.
Which I think you can play on PC, but it's going to be mobile, so it's going to probably have mobile baggage like all mobile games have.
Right. Yeah. It's weird. Like maybe it'll do well. I really don't know, but it looks like an executive art directed that game where they just took all the cool, unique world crafting and style from the first two games, and then we're like, what if that was Fortnite? And you can almost
probably still
see
check
the
it
guy
out,
say it.
but
course, yeah, you'll check it out because I mean it's going to be a big game, and you're almost obligated to as a streamer, right? Like, why aren't you playing the new Horizon?
they just want Sony wants a live service. Like, please, just any live service. We want it.
Yeah.
You're not getting one, Sony. Sorry.
It is weird.
I mean, they got it with like Helldivers, right? Like this Helldivers has been banging for them.
Honestly, Sony deserves a bit of this, and it sucks because game devs are paying the price, but ever since I found out how many studios they shut down to get Concord out the door, because they had all these different games going, and then Concord was
really?
like,
I did not know that.
We need all this money to finish our game, and clearly Concord is the winner out of all of these projects you're doing. And Sony literally shut like tons of teams down to get Concord out the door. And you're like, well, at this point, you guys don't deserve any success because I mean that was just so blatantly stupid.
They couldn't even get a Last of Us live service game to work for them either.
Yeah,
that one was canceled too. And like it's the Last of Us, like
it's a huge IP. I know, right? An open world Last of Us game or something. You're like, I could see the potential there. You know, that's not nothing, but also it's sort of the audience for Last of Us is about the narrative more than anything. Yeah. So open world might
very
lose
much
it,
so.
Right?
I didn't remember it being open world, but I'll take your word.
Well, I don't know. You said live service, so I assumed. I'm just guessing. I was just guessing.
Oh no, I don't know if it was. Live service doesn't always mean open world.
No, I know, but I'm trying to imagine how a Last of Us game would be live service in any other context.
I'm not sure. We never really got to see a good look at it.
Yeah. So many canceled projects. It feels like Sony has a lot more than other studios, than other publishers, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Some of them aren't as well publicized. And we know every big publisher, Ubisoft or EA or whatever, have canceled a great many projects behind the scenes. So we'll never know. We'll never know what that EA Star Wars game was that had the Naughty Dog's writer leading it.
Right. Yeah. They canceled that one too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And they did it under the guise that nobody plays single players anymore.
Utter nonsense. There had to have been another reason for that.
Yeah. It was a terrible take, especially when they were still developing tons of single player games and had.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was just an excuse for excuses.
Yeah. Pretty wild. Yeah. Well, you want to wrap up the podcast there, Matt?
Sounds good.
Forgot to talk about our Patreon at the start, but for you dedicated fans who stuck around to the end of this podcast, if you want to check out our Patreon and find a way to support the podcast even further, you can come watch us record the podcast live on Mondays, and then stick around for a little post-podcast chat where we talk about anything that's on our minds, whether it's the Super Bowl, Formula One, weird things that Matt eats off stream, like your oats, or whatever,
It's not that weird.
It's not that weird, but whatever food thing Matt's into.
Bro, I eat like carrots and apples. I eat like a rabbit. I don't know what you're talking about.
Carrots are great, man. We always have carrots.
Carrots are great.
And it's kind of more like one of those knock-on effects of having kids, because we got to make them a lunch every day for school.
Yeah.
So it's like, carrots
Easy
are
peasy.
go-to, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm eating lots of carrots, man. My daughter ate one the other day, and the carrot was wet when I gave it to her, because I guess I'd washed it or something. So she just took her like white sweatshirt sleeve up like this and just held the carrot with that. And then her whole sweatshirt was stained orange. And I was like, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Right.
Nice job, honey.
Yeah. Kids and stained clothes, man. It's you just don't get them anything too nice,
Yeah.
Yeah. They also grow too fast. They grow too fast. So we get them shoes, and 6 months later, you're like, what do you mean these don't fit you anymore? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Kid shoe market, man. That's where the money's at right now. I'm buying kid shoe stock.
Smart.
I don't think that's a specific stock, but
I don't think it is either. But you can make it. You can make it work.
Yeah. I'm going to invest in the index that follows shoe companies that focus on
shoe
kids.
Companies.
Well, thank you guys for dropping by the podcast. We appreciate you. And even if you're not a Patreon member, Matt is still going to leave you with some incredibly useful advice.
So if you ever find yourself in charge of a large company where you'd like to make a sequel for your beloved game, but you're not entirely sure if you're going to be able to deliver on said promises for the sequel, maybe, just maybe pump the brakes and, reevaluate the situation. So that's my weekly life advice.
Do you have that studio executives who are listening to us now? Get that. Stop making bad sequels, guys. Stop ruining your great products that you had to begin with.
Was this an Overwatch 2 joke? Yes, it was.
Yeah. Hey man, it's not going to be Overwatch 2 anymore. We're going back to Overwatch. Not even Overwatch 1. It'll just be Overwatch.
It's just Overwatch. Yeah, it's just the Overwatch.
I'm so glad about that, because I have a giant framed poster of Overwatch in my basement somewhere.
There you go.
And it's got all the signatures from all the original Overwatch devs on it.
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, this is cool. This is going to be worth something someday. And then they announced Overwatch 2. And I was like, crap. It's going to be worth
It'd still be worth something. It's not like the legacy of it goes away. What do you mean?
But not as much as if Overwatch just became a long-term live service game,
Oh, well, I guess now.
So now we're going back.
Now instead of $5, it's going to be worth $7.
Yeah, it's like somebody bought me the Death of Superman comic book when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And they're like, this is going to be worth something someday. Guess what? Every other person on the planet had that same idea, and they overproduced that comic book so much because they knew everybody was going to buy it. I think it appreciated like $5 in 2 decades or something. Yeah. Like it didn't even beat inflation. It was so bad. But I think I still have it somewhere, just because somebody gave it to me, was like, hold on to this. This is usually
a bad idea to buy a product expecting it to be something that rises in value. Like, buy it because you want it. Don't buy it because you think it's going to be worth more.
I would modify that and say it's usually a bad idea to buy a product that's like basically setting itself up as a collector's edition. Anything that says collector's edition is not going to be collectible, like pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. I mean, I buy collector's books, but that's just because I like collecting the books. I'm not collecting them to sell later. I'm collecting them because I think they look pretty and I like the pictures. I like the art.
One day, though, somebody's going to get your inheritance, Matt, and be like, oh, this first edition.
Look at all these stupid books this idiot spent way too much money on. I mean...
And a weird amount of Beanie Babies. That's what I remember about visiting you, Matt, is it was just like, why do you have so many Beanie Babies just off camera?
Just a fan. Yeah, I mean...
just piles
it's just great over there, just a wall of them. They keep me company.
Silly investments when we were younger. Anyway, let's wrap up the podcast. Thank you all for dropping by. Appreciate you very much. We're on every Wednesday, so we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Take care.